This video is going to show you 4 things. Firstly, a simple template that we've created to make it easy for you to record a blood pressure reading that the patient has taken themselves using the BP machine in the waiting room, and which uses default free text associated with the blood pressure code to make it easy to find this information later in a search. Secondly, how you can import this template into your EMIS system to save you having to create it yourself. Thirdly, how you can create a mini protocol that you can use on your F12 protocol launcher to access the new template. And lastly, how you can find patients who have used the waiting room BP machines by running a simple report and exporting it to Excel. We can share a report with you which you can import into your EMIS system. This will save you having to create the search yourselves. So firstly, let's take a look at the template in use. I've saved it to my F12 protocol launcher, so when I select F12 I can pick it from my list to trigger the template. If you've got an active patient, then a consultation will open for that patient automatically. Add the appropriate date, healthcare professional and place in the configuration dialog box for the consultation. You might choose to add these under a particular consultor, or the job of adding these might be assigned to a particular team or individual, for example, your care coordinator. Pick the consultation type, for example, administration note or other note. These are just decisions that you need to make in your practice as to what goes in these fields. The consultation opens up, displaying the template. As you can see, it's just that single coded entry for blood pressure. For your information, the BP code being used here is on examination blood pressure reading. The SNOMED concept and description IDs are displayed here. It has some free text included by default to indicate that this recording was taken by the patient themselves using the waiting room machine. It's very important that you don't change this text, as this is what we'll use later to distinguish between blood pressure readings taken by the patients themselves in the waiting room and any other blood pressures recorded on the records. So all you need to do is put the BP readings in and save the consultation. Just to demonstrate the stored code, if we look in care history, you can see the code with its associated text here. You can create these mini templates very easily, but to save you time, we've got one that you can import into your EMIS system. Please note, however, that this template that we're sharing was created on an EMIS system that did not have Resource Publisher activated, and some practices may have problems importing the template. If you do, please contact EMIS support in the normal manner, or if you have someone at your practice who can create templates, this is actually a very quick and easy one for them to create, so show them the video and they'll be able to reproduce it. If you opt to use ours, you'll be sent a file as an attachment to an email. You'll need to save that file in a folder that's accessible to you when you're accessing EMIS. Once it's saved, go into EMIS, go to Configuration, Template Manager, and find or create the folder that you want to import the template into. And once that's selected, click on Import in the ribbon. You then need to browse to the file that you've saved, and once selected, this will appear in your folder. Once you've saved the template on EMIS and tested that it works okay, follow these simple instructions to create a mini protocol. Don't worry if you've never created a protocol before, this is literally a 2-minute job. So access Configuration and go to Template Manager. Select or create a folder into which you'll create the new protocol. Either right-click on the folder or use the Add drop-down in the ribbon and select Protocol. You'll see the empty protocol builder page with a Start node displayed. Select the Action Nodes section in the bottom left, find Launch Template, and then drag and drop it onto the building space. This will automatically open the template picker, and you need to find the template that you've recently imported. Once you've selected that, it will appear as a launch template element on your building space. Go back to the Decisions node section on the left, drag and drop the End Protocol item into the building space just below the launch template node. And that's all the different elements that we need. We now just need to link them together so EMIS knows what order to perform each of the elements in. So point to the Start node and hold the mouse down. Drag the mouse to the red bar in the Launch Template node. You'll see it creates a line with an arrow as you do this, and drop it when you're over the red bar. This is just saying when I start this protocol, I want you to launch this template. Then we need to configure what should happen after the template has been used, or if the user decides to cancel using it after it's been launched. So hold the right-hand mouse button down over the completed arrow and drag this to the end node. It will draw a line as you go, as it did earlier, and then do the same for the cancelled arrow. And that's it. Save and close, giving your protocol a suitable name. Now open your protocol launcher by pressing F12. Select an appropriate line label to add this template onto, so I'll use Q. Right-click that line and select Add, and you'll be in the protocol picker. Find the protocol that you've just created and select it. And from now on, when you want to use that template, you can hit F12 and then select the line label that you've assigned it to, and that will trigger the template, as we saw at the beginning of this video. Remember though that the F12 protocol launcher is user specific, so everyone will need to add the protocol to their own F12 list in order to be able to use it. In a similar way to the way you imported the template, you can be sent a report as an attachment to an email, and you'll need to save that to a file location that you can get to when you're accessing EMIS. Once it's saved, go to the EMIS ball, select Reporting and Population Reporting. Find the folder that you want to save the report into, or create one if you need to. With the folder selected, select Import from the ribbon, and the Inquiry Document Import dialog box will appear. Click on this search button to the right of the Inquiry Document field and find the file. Once selected, you should see the search and the report displayed like this in the left-hand panel with the details displayed here. Click on OK. The search and its report will now be displayed in your folder. To run the report, either right-click on it and select Run, or highlight it and select Run from the ribbon, and confirm. And you'll then be prompted to add the date range that you wish to search on. Now here you can pick, for example, start and end dates for a range. You can also ask it to search on a number of days, weeks, months, before or after the search date, or you can search for last, this or next, week, month, quarter, year or fiscal year. One thing to be particularly careful about when configuring this date box is ensuring you select the correct option in this drop-down. As an example, if you select after and then pick the date the 1st of May, you'll get results for the 2nd of May onwards. If you select after or on the 1st of May, you'll include the 1st of May in your search. At the bottom of this dialog box, a summary of your configuration is always displayed, so read this before you press OK to ensure that the search is definitely going to find data from the exact date range that you're wanting. Both the search and the report will be queued to run and then run. The last run date for both should be today's date once the run has finished. Obviously, it's important that the search is run afresh whenever you produce the report, so you're ensuring that you're reporting on the most up-to-date set of data. When your search has been run and your report has been introduced, you can view the results using this ribbon option. You can see the mixture of entries, with only some of them having the free text indicating that the blood pressure reading was taken from a waiting room machine. These are the ones that you want. Now, depending on how many patients your search has found, you may find it easy just to count them from this list. Notice that there are potentially more than one page to go through. Or you can print out your report from here and count them manually. But if there's a lot of data, it's actually quite easy to export your report to Excel, and you can order the content in the Excel spreadsheet to quickly get to the total number of these entries. To do this, from this page where you're viewing the results, select Export from the ribbon. Excel will normally be ticked here, and you can exclude this header section if you want to, and you can override hidden patients if that's appropriate and you have the appropriate permissions to do that. Leave the rest and select OK. You then need to select where you're going to save your Excel spreadsheet file to, and then you can leave EMIS and open up your new Excel spreadsheet. So let's take a look at what you can do in Excel. I'll talk you through a very simple way to sort the data on the spreadsheet. Just remember that there are lots of different ways to use Excel for this sort of thing. I'm going to show you just one option. This spreadsheet is a mock-up of what you'll see in an exported file, so things like the date format might be different, for example, but the process is the same. As we're only looking at the number of codes, I'm going to get rid of the headers. I'm then going to sort the data so that all the entries with this associated text are together by organising the entries by alphabetical order of the content in this column. Bear in mind that there may well be other free text that clinicians have typed in when they've added a blood pressure to a patient's records. So these will also show up, but when we arrange them in alphabetical order, all of these type will be arranged together. To do this, click on Sort in the ribbon. We're wanting to sort based on column D, and I'll leave it to sort on alphabetical order. This groups the codes so that all the ones with this text are grouped together. You can then simply highlight all these entries, and the total number of entries highlighted will be displayed in the bottom right as the count. There are loads more options in Excel, like filtering, conditional formatting, adding count markers, but this is just one simple way to get to that data. So that's the process in a nutshell. If you want to learn more about EMIS Web, in particular searches, there is a bundle of videos specifically targeted at beginners on the How-To website. You'll find loads more content on there, not just relating to EMIS, but looking at a whole range of IT systems in general practice. You need an NHS email address to register on the site, and you'll then have access to the full set of content and the different functionality. Here's the link below. I recommend you go and have a look. I hope this has been useful. Thank you.